That's ignorant. That's an ignorant move on your part. Because I have no correlation with Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan.
I didn't say you did.
Then why bring it up?
Well, every time I try and answer you, you cut me off.
I'm not irrational.
Yes, you are. You don't really want to reason and think.
Because
you
you're
just
not
want to
a
emote.
person to reason. I'm not emotional.
Oh, no?
Neste episódio, Cliffe participa de dos debates mais intensos de todos. Uma estudante muçulmana o questiona sobre quem Jesus realmente foi, apenas um profeta ou Deus em forma humana. Será que Cliffe consegue manter uma conversa séria? Ou a situação sai do controle? Assista ao vídeo completo e compartilhe sua opinião nos comentários.
In the Quran, we read, Jesus is a good prophet, he is not God. The problem is the historical Jesus claimed to be God.
It's to be an internal contradiction is on one page it says something, on a different page it says something else. Like the gentleman that left mentioned about the creation.
You're
how
right.
Creation came
The
about.
Quran
That's
does not
internal
contradict itself, I agree.
So then
But
we'll
it
go to point number two.
contradicts
Point number
the
two.
historical evidence that Jesus claimed to be God.
Claimed. From what, John and Joseph and Mike and
That's
whoever
right, man,
said.
and that's the only thing. That's the only way I can know anything historically. Historical knowledge is based on the trustworthiness of eyewitness testimony.
So then why take what John and those people said 500 years before what Muhammad came with?
That's exactly why I trust John, because he lived with Jesus. Muhammad was the dude who never met Jesus. John met Jesus, listened to Jesus.
But doesn't it come with time that things like that become more inaccurate? Jesus' book isn't here. Jesus' book is not here.
Yes, the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were written in the first century.
Okay, Moses' book,
eyewitnesses. That's what I want when it comes to historical knowledge.
Book, the Torah, right? Did Jesus believe in the Torah? Did Jesus follow Moses?
Yes, Jesus believed the Torah was the Word of God, very clearly.
So then why do you accept Jesus as a successor of Moses and you don't accept Muhammad as a successor of Jesus?
Because Muhammad contradicted Jesus.
But you don't have any way to tell whether or not what Jesus came with is the exact same as what Moses came with, because the book Moses came with is not the same today as it was at the time. Can you agree with me on that?
No, that made no sense to me. I'm sorry, I'm not smart enough to figure out what you just said there. Makes no sense to me.
Okay,
what on earth did you just say?
Right now, the book that Moses came with.
Yes.
Do you agree Jesus
He didn't
memorized?
come with anything. He wrote something.
He didn't write anything. It was revealed to him.
Baloney. Moses wrote. No book floated out of heaven to Moses.
What makes him a prophet?
Moses wrote.
What makes him a prophet? The fact that he was a self-claimed prophet, he was a good writer. There's plenty of good writers. That doesn't make them prophets.
Goodness gracious, man. No way.
What
do I
is your
accept this
definition
kind
of a prophet?
of floating out of heaven book that you do?
No one's saying it's floating out of heaven.
Well, then what are you saying?
Revealed through angels. Do you believe
Moses wrote. No, an angel didn't write the Torah.
No one said
Moses
an angel
wrote it.
No one
not
said
an angel.
Wrote it.
And no angel wrote the New Testament either. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, James wrote the New Testament.
So what makes someone a prophet? And not a random great writer?
What makes someone a prophet is that God inspires them. And there's absolutely no way that I can show you who a prophet is. If this guy claims to be a prophet, I can't just blindly say, yes, he's a prophet, or no, he's not a prophet. I have to observe how he lives his life. I have to listen to what he believes.
And 500 people for you is good enough for that. As long as 500 people say he's a prophet, we're good. We're golden.
No, that's your argument. I'm not standing here saying anybody's a prophet. Your argument is
follow me to Scientology!
So again, we'll talk about what makes someone a prophet. Your definition of a prophet, and I'll follow with mine. You said a good writer.
No, I didn't.
But again, so we're all
on the same page. A prophet is someone who's inspired by God, but I can't show you that someone's inspired by God. It's impossible.
So this is something in your own heart.
I can't show you that a book is inspired by God. And don't you understand? That's why it's so hard for you and me to have an intelligent conversation.
Okay.
Because you just lapsed into, this is inspired by God, this is from God, this is from an angel. Well, fine, but there's no way you can show that.
Okay, you're here right now. The purpose of you coming here is to quote-unquote guide misguided people. I talked to the people who brought you, and they said, your point is not to convert people to Christianity. Your point is to get atheists and agnostics to believe in Jesus.
No,
Yeah.
and you. I pray you come to believe in Jesus, man.
I believe in Jesus. I don't
you
believe
reject
in Jesus
him as
how
God.
You do.
You don't accept his death on
I
the
believe
cross
in
for your
Jesus.
sin.
Okay, but we'll stop. We'll go here. You're here to take people to believe in Jesus. But you just said right now that you can't explain to someone that a book is inspired by God or someone else is inspired by God. So why are you here?
There is absolutely no way that any human being can prove that any book has been inspired by God.
Then why are you here to tell us to believe in the Bible?
Because I am convinced that to believe in God and to believe in Jesus does not mean you have to first believe that a book is inspired by God.
So I'm supposed
You
to take
cannot
you
blindly
as the
believe
reference
anything
between
in
me and
life.
Jesus?
And to blindly believe that the Quran or the Bible or any book has been inspired by God is such a leap of faith. I'm not asking anybody to do that.
Okay, so can we have the second part of our deal? I said I'd explain to you what a prophet is?
Sure.
A prophet is someone who comes with something extraordinary that combats everything at the time in proof of his claim. So many people came claiming they were prophets, and they did things that didn't prove their claim. The prophet came, Prophet Muhammad, first of all, we'll start off with Jesus, who we both agree with. Jesus was born without a father.
How do you know that?
Miracle number one.
How do you know that?
Revealed in the Quran, and when he spoke.
Revealed in the Quran,
No.
500 years after
Listen,
the
when
fact.
he spoke-
All of a sudden, because some dude says he was born without a father, you believe it?
Okay, fine. You don't believe that Jesus was born without a father. You don't
I can
believe-
promise you, ma'am, I'm not going to believe Jesus was born without a father because some dude who lived 500 years after Christ writes it in a book.
Okay, so then we'll stop right there. Forget everything about Muhammad. Do Christians believe that Jesus was born without a father?
Yeah, but not because some dude 500 years after the fact wrote it, that's for sure.
But then what do they take as their belief for Jesus being born without a
Because
father?
eyewitnesses who knew Jesus' mother, a woman named Mary, talked with her. They talked with Joseph, and they found out that indeed Mary was a virgin when Jesus was born.
So then we take
It's not something they made up 500 years later.
Okay, so then
It's something that they found from eyewitness talking.
So do we take that? We take Jesus being born without a father as a miracle. That's proof
Yes.
he's a prophet. That's proof he's a prophet, correct?
No,
Why?
just
Why-
because a miracle happens doesn't mean the dude's a prophet.
Why?
He could be a false
So
prophet.
then why
Miracles
don't you,
happen to
why
false
doesn't your mom
prophets.
have a son without a father? What miracles happen to false prophets? We'll go over that right now. What miracles happen to false prophets?
Man, if you get in the occult, you can go to seances, and demonic powers are shown, supernatural powers are shown. You can go a lot of places on this planet.
But we're
How
not
are they
talking about
shown?
magic.
How
We're
are they
not talking about
shown?
magic.
How are they shown?
Yeah, how are they shown? Like,
All right,
how,
I'll tell you how.
factually.
You
How
bet.
can you show it in substance?
You bet.
No, answer.
I went to a
Not
prep
just-
school.
No, answer.
I am answering you.
Come on.
I went
Where
to a
can you
prep
find it
school
factually, though?
here in Connecticut, and I had a philosophy professor who went to a seance. And at the seance, the medium told him things about his past that it took him 2 weeks to remember had even occurred. This philosophy professor came
And
to our
psychologists
class.
have done that too with sexual abuse cases where they convince their clients of a history that never happened. So how do you know that's not the case? How can you prove that it's true?
You got to use your brain to figure out whether
Okay,
I'm
so
being
then
irrational
that means
or
that,
rational.
that's on the premise that you're using your brain.
Yeah, that is on a premise.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Why are you wasting your time listening to a guy who's just gibbering?
You're in our way.
You're missing my problem.
I'm
I'll
sorry,
answer that
I didn't
question.
realize that your
No.
ankle had a chain tied to the brick underneath
I'll
there.
answer that
I
question.
was under the impression that you chose to be here freely.
He did choose to be
Let me
here.
relieve you if you're being forced to be here.
Oh, I'm not. I'm enjoying
All
your
right.
company.
But listen, my
Thank you.
problem here is you're here talking loudly, first of all. You're not having a small conversation with the group that brought you here in a small room, which most groups have. You're obnoxiously on the center of campus,
Yeah.
misguiding people about your belief in
Baloney.
Jesus.
And I'm exercising my right of free speech. And if I tried to stand up in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan and do what I'm doing now, I'd be in prison before I knew what
And
my
it's a great
name
thing I'm an
was.
American citizen and born
Okay.
on this soil.
Good.
Great thing, isn't it?
All right.
Now, what do you take that as right there? As blindly naming Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan?
Blindly?
because you
I'm
see a
not
scarf
blindly
on
at
my
all.
head? That's ignorant. That's an ignorant move on your part. Because I have no correlation with Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan.
I didn't say you did.
Then why bring it up?
I'll tell you
Just
why.
random countries?
Because you
can't
two
do
were
this in
challenging
South Korea
God.
or
No.
Japan.
So every
I'm
time I
not
try and answer you, you
irrational.
cut me off.
I'm not irrational.
Yes, you are. You don't really want to reason and think.
Because
you
you're
just
not
want to
a
emote.
person to reason. I'm not emotional.
Oh, no?
I'm not
Oh,
emotional.
give me a break. You were challenging free speech. He said I was in his way.
No, I wasn't challenging. I was using my own free speech to question yours.
Oh, you can do that
is
all
part
day
of
long.
free
I respect
speech.
that.
So then,
That's
okay.
not-
And my
Okay.
point is, free speech
I was making
is a
an
right
argument,
that we
though.
have in the United States of America.
Correct. And
That
in the
I
United
celebrate.
States, you look crazy right now.
Pardon?
Hold on
You
one
look
second.
crazy in the United States, and if you went to Iran or Iraq, you look crazy there as well. You
So hold on.
Well, then
What's
why
your
are you
purpose
wasting
here?
your time
What's
talking to
your
a crazy
purpose
man?
Because you are just, it's just entertaining.
Entertaining.
What's your purpose
Smoke.
here? Why
Because
are you
they had
here?
better entertainment on this campus than to talk to a
Have
crazy
you been
man.
to stores? Have you been to stores?
You guys are hurting people.
Why are you here? What did you come
I am
for?
here to introduce people to the closest friend I have, Jesus Christ.